Hello, good morning, good morning. I thought I'd do a little poppy, funky music to get started because my heart is full this morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's Dushan Method live sacred circle of creation. Hi, everyone. Say hello in the comments if you're here. Good morning. Good morning. We have Jenny, we have Elise, we have Sophia, Italy, New York, Connecticut in the house. Please say hi as you jump on. If you would like to, because the whole idea of doing these lives in this way is to have everyone meet together and have an opportunity to interact. So I share some information, we look at some things together, and then we get a chance to interact with one another, which is the entire point of doing these lives. Hi, Henry. Good morning, honey. Nice to have you here. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Elise. All right. Anybody else who comes on, please don't be shy. Say hello. I know sometimes we kind of feel shy. We don't want to say hello. And that's okay too. No blame, shame. It's totally fine. It's just exciting to know who's here. And when you communicate, of course, that creates the vibration for the heart center, right? That's why we connect together, because we want to vibrate from the heart center. So fantastic. I'm going to put my other piece of communication up here. All right, my friends. So another exciting week. Every time that it's time to, time gets closer to starting the talk, I get super excited. I get stoked. And that's a really good feeling, because I feel like my heart is full. My heart is full and I'm engaged. And so today we have some pretty fun stuff to talk about. I have a few videos to share with you from someone that I love very much, that some of you know already, and then a little bit of information. And we're going to have a super interactive communication today around the heart space, how the heart works energetically, physiologically, how it is an unwinding organ, winding and unwinding, and we'll look at this exactly at how that works, and also kind of exchange some questions and comments. So today's the 13th. Tomorrow is officially Valentine's Day, the 14th. Do you have a Valentine? And if you do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Is it something that you celebrate with your loved one, your lover, your spouse, your partner? And if you do you do some special things together? Do you get them a little present to accentuate how much love you have for them, how much gratitude you feel for them? Any act of kindness, of love, is never a problem. Every act of love is what's necessary in the world today, more and more and more, to really drop into our heart centers and to let go of any and all types of resentment, to let go of anything that you're holding on to from your past, so that you can be free, so that you can fly, so that you can move forward with an open heart, without resentment. And it's not always easy to do this, and that's why we're meeting here every week to dissect, to dilute all mind-body connection, all mind-body topics, starting from the physiology, from the anatomy, from the spirit, from our psychology, from our belief systems. This is super important, right? We have to be able to look at ourselves and to dissect ourselves from a place of loving kindness, in order to get to know ourselves better, so that we might release, we might let go of what no longer serves us, and to open up our hearts of compassion, and to be better equipped to love and to be in love with others. There's nothing more beautiful than to be in love. And so today we're going to talk more about love from a place of of the self, of connecting with the self from a place of love, and also how you are showing up in the world from a place of love. How are you communicating with your family, with your friends, with your community? How do you show up? How do you partake in being a mindfully loving person? That's what we're getting into a little bit more today. And also, really looking at how the heart and the mind work together. So last week, good morning, good morning. Hi, welcome. I'm delighted that you're here. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me this morning. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. I want you to know this. So every week when we come together here, we really look at how to engage, how to acknowledge one another, how to engage and how to support one another so that we might become better humans. We might raise our level of consciousness and we might get in touch with our bodies in a way that is loving and kind, because sometimes the truth is our bodies get the brunt, doesn't it? A lot of the time we're tough on our bodies. Good morning, welcome. So I want to incite a new way of being with your body from the heart today. So really talking about this source of inspiration, this source of kindness, this source of present awareness from a heart-centered perspective. How might you improve the quality of your life from a heart-centered perspective? All right. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm going to give you my little intro because that's how we roll at the Duchenne method. Where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome. Awesome. I love my little intro. Thanks for bearing with me while I practice doing this with you. All right, my friends, so let's jump right into it. We're exploring what's at the heart of the matter, how mind-heart connection leads us to give and receive love. Because it's not just a matter of giving love, right? There is a big practice in learning how to receive love, like to truly receive love. And for many of us, we weren't really taught how to receive love in our lives. There's never, and please understand, I'm never talking from a place of blame, shame. But there is a place for many of us where we were given the kind of love that we were given when we were children. And growing up, we interpreted that as we did, however it was for us. And a lot of us in this culture, certainly in, I would say, North American culture, that's what I know best, there can be a lack of being able to actually receive love. And how that manifests is that instead of being able to accept when someone tells us they love us, or how many times have I heard it said that people will say, oh, it's so weird to say I love you. Like, a lot of us don't say I love you. But certainly I've noticed that a lot in my own practice with my own clients. And why don't we say I love you? It's too much, right? It's too intimate. Well, I don't know if I love them. I like them, but I don't know if I love them. So I want to invite you into exploring this with me this morning. And after I show you a couple of videos, I think that you, or I'm hoping that it will crack the heart open a little bit. So as I was mentioning in my newsletter from last week, it's possible that some of us have experienced trauma when we were younger, when it comes to being love, a sort of disruption in the heart mind and how we interpret love. And if that's true, If you go back and you think of your life, you might be able to notice some areas where you've had difficulty with your relationships in either giving love or receiving love, for the simple reason that we might not know how to do either. And so, as we grow and evolve and we get in touch with ourselves, we realize at one point in our lives that giving and receiving love is pretty much all there is. Because if love is extracted from your environment, if you don't feel like you are loved, the tendency is that we don't blossom. And for those of you who have children, you certainly know that this is true. Over time, it becomes challenging to establish our identity, who we are. When we're not loved, we're not quite sure where we fit in. There might also be feelings of loneliness and abandonment that are related with not being loved, or interpreting whatever we interpreted growing up as not being loving. There's also connection to a sense of uniqueness and personal safety. If we don't feel loved, there is that sense that we're carrying everything on our own, that we're alone in this world. I just want to get a little show of hands here, or a one, or a comment here and there, if you're tracking with me so far. Does it make sense that if you did not feel loved as you were growing up, if you did not feel honored and supported, and not because people around you didn't want to necessarily, it's just that maybe they didn't know how, right? Parenting is life's biggest, most important, and I really believe hardest job. Does that make sense? Yes. Awesome. Thank you for responding. So today, as adults, right, we're all adults here. Everyone on the planet. Thank you. Hey, Nicole, good morning. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for being here. Everyone on the planet, everyone in your circle, every one of us wants love. Everyone wants to be loved. And this is why I used those 3 very specific steps when I say the Duchamp method is about acknowledge, engagement, and support. It's because throughout my career, as a coach and as a practitioner, what I noticed was what people respond the most to is every time I acknowledge someone. When we talked about this a few classes ago, to really be able to remember people's names, and to say, hey, good morning, Nicole. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Elise. Hi, Henry. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Elise. Hi, all of you, to be able to remember. So the acknowledgement piece is a sign of love. So if there's someone in your life that you're having a hard time with, you have a hard time loving them, practice acknowledging them, if not to them directly, to yourself, because we want to heal our hearts over time. And I'll tell you why. And some of you know this already, because over time, if we're not able to heal our wounds from a place of a deep processing place, meaning that you're processing it through your body so that you might be able to release it. Remember, fascia, connective tissue, the conduit to energy in your body, which also picks up love or lack of love. Well, if you are not able to release your anger, resentment, lack of love, hatred even, your body hardens on the inside. Our arteries harden on the inside. And we don't want that. We want to be free, fluid, and flexible. So it requires some mindful awareness, some present awareness as to how to release our resentments, our bitterness. It doesn't do anything for us except to harden us from the inside out. And in my line of work, in my practice, and some of you might have experienced this too, there are other practitioners on the call, you feel when people's bodies harden. There's a sense of an armor. And what we're doing here today is we're going to take a little peek into moving through that armor so that we might be able to view it from a different angle. Okay? Does that make sense? Hey, good morning, Leanne. Wonderful to have you here. Good morning. So Again, all of us want to be loved. And depending on your childhood upbringing, depending on what you're believing about yourself today, you may still have negative associations about love. So, for all of you here who are feeling lost or a little off center or tilted or in the depths of doom, or you're going through a rough time, here's the first thing that I would highly recommend is to start to nurture yourself. You are your biggest fan. You must have your own back and have your own heart, your own front. It is so important because we can't really depend on others to love us in the way that we want to be loved. Except if you're a parent and you have children, that's different. Your children expect love from you, of course, especially little ones. They're coming up into this world. They need us. They need us to take care of them. As an adult, we have to develop this personal relationship with self-love. It's so important. And the more you know about your body and the more you are willing to explore different aspects of belief systems, different perspectives, it opens up this level of tolerance and of open-mindedness that helps us to open up our hearts. Does that make sense? So today, we're going to explore how your heart is intricately linked with your brain and how this connection actually teaches us how to better love ourselves and care for others. Love is a two-way, three-way, multiple-way street, isn't it? So to open up our hearts of compassion, to really take it from a place of this inner, really, it's a superpower, isn't it? To be able to love, to be able to be happy. If anyone here on this call, have any of you ever been told, oh my gosh, you're so happy all the time. You're smiling all the time. Have any of you had that experience in your life? Yes, 100%. Everything should be created from the energy of love, right? That's the primary source of life. It is the primary source of life. But isn't it interesting, as the primary source of life, like breath, that as we move into this third dimension, that a lot of the time we lose the very source, that primary space from where we come from, isn't it? So if you've ever been told in your life that you're, yes, often called Pollyanna. Yes, when I was little, I got that often. You smile all the time. As if there was something wrong with that, isn't it? As if there is something wrong with that. And I just want to reassure you, if you hold back, if you ever hold back on your heart, on sharing excitement and love, don't do that. Don't hold back. Just go for it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. Just be fully in life, enlivened, be who you are. Because the truth is, the more you practice being enlivened, energetic, happy for no good reason at all, the more you become that. And that becomes infectious. And when you energetically radiate out from your heart center, what starts to happen, of course, is that you attract others of the like, which is why we are all here this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. Does that make sense? So please, I want to ask you, from my heart to yours, don't make yourself small. Don't accept that. Don't accept to make yourself small in any way, shape, or form. Be proud of your liveliness. Be proud of your energy. Be proud of who you have become from your heart center. Never let anyone diminish you because you have so much energy or you have such a beautiful smile. In fact, I want to invite you to smile more. If you are of that disposition, and sometimes we're of that disposition and we're not over the top energetic. I'm super energetic. I've always been. That's just how I roll, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to be super energetic, but you can certainly be happy all the time for no good reason at all. Why not? So to plug into your heart source, to understand the importance that when you cultivate action, movement through the heart when you're happy, if you're skipping, if you're working out, if you're dancing, Henry, if you're teaching, if you're being a practitioner and you have clients and you love what you're doing, more of that. Because what happens is that when you get more enlivened and you're happier and your heart is full, that sends direct correlation to the brain center, because there are all these branches communicating from the heart to the brain. Okay, perfect place to take a pause and to share an amazing video with you. Some of you might have seen it. I don't know if you're signed up to his YouTube channel, but if you're not, I really encourage you to do so. So I want to share about 4-minute video about my beautiful friend, Gil Headley, who talks about the heart-brain relationship. Here we go.
So I'd like to tell a little story about the heart brain. The heart brain. In our culture, in our language, the words heart and brain don't really reference an anatomical thing. Your heart they're like symbols. And often those symbols are at odds with each other. You know, if I only had a brain, you know that song. So what's the reality anatomically? As a counterpoint to the separation of our symbols of heart and brain in our culture. Well, anatomy tells a very different story, because if we kind of drill down on the branching of the heart in its relationship to the brain, we really have a heart brain. Look, here's the beautiful aortic arch, right, coming out of the left ventricle, and the pulmonary trunks here off to the lung. But look, our carotid arteries branch up here, and the internal carotid artery comes snaking through your skull. Literally, it's beautiful. It's like this little crawling thing. And then the vertebral arteries, which branch off the subclavian arteries here, the vertebral arteries are also coming up. So we have these 4 great channels of blood. The vertebral arteries merge into the basilar, meet up through anastomoses with the internal carotid artery, creating a little circle of life in there called the circle of Willis. And then it just branches and branches. And we have anterior and posterior and superior and middle cerebral arteries, all carefully documented here in my drawing. Okay, that's a joke. And then, literally, it's as if your entire, it's like these arms, these hands of the heart have come up and they're wrapping your head. And as they beat, boom, 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 right? The beating of the heart is literally like a beautiful massage of your brain into your brain. And if you allow yourself to feel that for a minute, just to imagine it, the pulsation of your heart embracing and wrapping and caressing your brain. It's just a beautiful thing. And it goes both ways. So this basilar artery is running along your midbrain, in your spinal cord here. And the spinal cord is coming down. Of course, the depths are different. And there are branches coming off of here, a little sympathetic, off the sympathetic trunks here. And there are ganglion here. And those are going to the heart. And the vagus nerve, I mentioned in another video, is coming down. And it's branching and branching all over here on the right side, on the left side. And on the right side, although most of it goes behind, it also comes in here as it's sneaking behind the heart and goes to the SA node, the sinoatrial node. And over here, we have baroreceptors on the aorta. And there's an infiltration from these things such that the heart is being embraced back by the brain. It's a hug. There's a hugging happening between your heart and the brain, the vasculature embracing the brain infiltrating and caressing and joining with our hearts, so that there is no separation as there are with our symbols, where we could have a difference between one and the other. What we have, in fact, is a gorgeous, complex, unified expression of that original embryo, differentiated into these spectacularly beautiful and sophisticated organs, which exist in mutual concert and relationship, and which can actually achieve a kind of level of coherence in their relationship that's ecstatic. I wish that for you, the heart, brain. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to study more with me.
Okay, my friends. Let's get back here. All right. Are you still with me? Did you see this? Did you see this very short, very cool video? Give me a 1 in the comment. Isn't it wonderful? Yes, it's wonderful. And thank you for being here. There are other friends, Francis, Corinne, Keith. Thank you for being here, you guys. Lovely to have you on this live. Yeah, wow, thank you. Exactly. Gil, I know Gil's plant. Exactly. So. Isn't that great, Nicole? I don't know if you had seen it. You might have seen this. So, first of all, please subscribe to Gil's channel. You know why? Because I'll tell you why. I have never seen or studied or been with or taught with anyone who has this effervescence. And do you see how Gil is teaching from his heart? Isn't it? It's so beautiful. And he has the languaging. This man has been dissecting beautiful forms, I think, for 25 plus years, maybe 30. And he's so unique in the way that he presents it. So it's not just about the topic, which is it's insanely informative and amazing, right? So does that not give you another sense? Does that hugging the branches of the brain into the heart, doesn't that bring up for you another state of beingness, understanding this, seeing this in this way? Doesn't it make sense anatomically that when you are effervescent, elated, if you're working out really hard and you have this adrenaline rush after, or if you're doing some rock climbing, like some of us are doing that today, right? There's a rush that moves through you. You're happy, you're enlightened. It's the same thing from the heart-brain connection. And I don't know anyone else who does it better than Gil. So I share him at large with everyone. And probably many of you have seen him before, but do subscribe to his channel. Get interested in your anatomy. That's the other part of how he teaches. It's that I'm really interested in the mind-body alignment connection. It's not as if we have this perfect alignment. It's messy, and to love the messiness of our alignment or misalignment. It's not about being, straight and, in all senses of the word. It's about being able to move and to be in relationship with the miracle that we all are from our bodies. Yeah, isn't it? He makes anatomy really accessible, quite fun. Exactly. Yes, he's wonderful. So subscribe to his channel. This is mind-blowing, so beautiful and powerful. Yes. So I share him with you and all of you to continue to explore your mind, body, brain, heart connection. And today is that way. Today, we are looking at this in a different way. I want to be able to share with you different lenses of how to view the body, how to heal your body. My friends, whenever you get stuck between a rock and a hard place, remember that you are a superhero. Your body, your laboratory is a superhero. And that you can tap into these sources, these hormones, these highs in your body. If you can reach the lows in your body, my friends, you can reach the highs. Choose the highs. Choose to never be small. What for, right? If you are surrounded people who tell you you're too small, I mean, look how wild Gil is. And when you're in the lab with him, it's an experience, let me tell you, right? Be who you are in that sense. Be full of life. Be as big as you need to be. Smile, be happy, teach, share. There's a big part of us that we feel self-conscious. We shouldn't put ourselves out there. We shouldn't say certain things. Please, if you're coming from the heart, if you're communicating from a space of loving kindness, everything is expressible. It's just that we need to get our heart-brain connection in check. Does that make sense? I'm so glad you're enjoying this, that you enjoyed this video. So now I want to do a little bit of a reflective exercise with you. Okay, a little bit of a reflective exercise with you. So I'm going to put I'm going to bring up some questions here that I put together, and I just want you to read them and to allow yourself, you might want to jot down, or you might want to share a little bit about what you're seeing, how you're feeling as you read these questions. So the first question here is, when you needed love as a child, how were your needs met? When you needed love as a child, how were your needs met? And you can take a screen shot of this if it's helpful to you, so you can reflect upon those. So don't answer the question here, how were your needs not met, right? Focus on answering the question, when you needed love as a child, how were your needs met? What can you remember when you were a little one that your needs were met? It could have been a hug. Your parents could have hugged you, like Gail just shared, with the brain and the heart. It could have been through food. It could have been through material things at that time, that's how your needs were met. The second question is, did you feel lonely and needy for attention as a child? Did you feel lonely and needy for attention as a child? And there's no blame, shame. You don't have to share this with any of us. This is for you. But just take a moment as you read these questions to see how it feels in your body. What are you sensing in your body? Do you know how your mother felt while pregnant with you? There is a big, big line of study in embryology around the development of embryos and little fetuses who eventually become little humans, and the importance of how the mother felt while pregnant and how she evolved based on her level of emotion and connection with the process of pregnancy. Again, just allow for the question to be in your body for a moment. Do you feel worthy of receiving love? What's your immediate answer? What shows up for you immediately? Do you feel worthy of receiving love? Do you feel safe receiving and or giving love? Different question. Do you feel safe receiving and or giving love? And let that process in your body. How does it feel in your body as you are reading and hearing me read these questions? Do you feel safe expressing love? Do you feel safe expressing love? And if you're a parent on this call today, how do you express love to your children? If you are a parent, how do you express love to your children? A lot of the time, we might parent our children in the way that we were parented. And then for other parents, it's the complete opposite. They don't want to parent their children at all how they were parented. Whatever way you choose to do that. The reason for the questions is much more an invitation into the body felt sense, like what arises within you as you are reading these questions, because that's another way to make the heart-brain connection. How do you feel when you are being asked? Do you feel worthy of love? Is it easy for you to receive love? Do you feel safe expressing love to another? So I want to leave you with this very rich information from this week's live, from our time together, to explore. Hopefully you took a you took a screenshot of the questions. And if not, I can certainly post them on our Facebook group page. And to allow yourself this week, since it's Valentine's Day week, to look at love from this perspective, to see how might you cultivate more love for yourself from this perspective, having connecting the heart mind relationship, understanding that your heart and your mind are in a continual hugging environment together. All right. Any comments, questions, feedback? Anybody want to share about something that was useful for you today, that you learned something new, that you're going to take this into your own life, and also to check in with yourself right now and see how are you feeling in your body right now based on our class together. Just give me a couple of comments. Very simply, how are you feeling in your body right now based on what you saw, what we shared together this morning? And also, when you share it, of course, with everyone on this page, when you write a comment, it really supports the rest of the group. It incites others to share of their experience. And we all know that participation is a foundational function of health. So when we share with one another, when we open up our hearts to one another, we are better able to feel loved ourselves. So every time that I come on here on Mondays and I connect with you, I feel more loved because we're in a circle of creation, right? Because we are exchanging one with the other. So let me know if there's any particular way that you might be feeling in this morning. Was this helpful? Did you learn something new? How might you use this information into your day with your own students and clients? All right, my friends. So we're going to continue with this exploration of mind-body alignment, integrating anatomy physiology over the next weeks. Jenny says, grateful that I was eventually taught how to love. Beautiful, Jenny. Yeah, you were eventually taught how to love. We're not always taught how to love when we're small, right? And we might have been in difficult growing up environments, childhood upbringing environments that are taxing, that are difficult. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, grateful that I was eventually taught how to love. You and me both, right? We learn. And when our hearts are open, you really want to learn how to love. Usually, somehow, the magic of the universal force brings the right people on our path, don't they? Okay, my friends. So we're going to continue this exploration over the next few weeks. I wanted to remind you that, or I wanted to share with you. Let's see. I have another response here from Leanne. I'm going to share it with everyone. Leanne says, some of the questions left me feeling a sense of fear, but seeing the video of Gil, what comes up is if your body is already doing it on its own, you just have to follow the lead. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing that. Isn't it helpful to know how the body works? Doesn't it change your perspective as to how love really happens in the body because they're intricately linked? When you don't, for me, when I did my first dissection, everything changed because I really understood the miracle of the human form. And in a way, it was the first time that I really believed in God in that way. Like I understood why people prayed and bowed and did all of these godlike things, because it's a miracle to work inside of the body in this way and to understand it is truly miraculous. So treat yourselves as a miracle. Please treat yourselves as a miracle today. Appreciate your body. Appreciate that you have arms. Appreciate that you can think. Appreciate that you can feel. It's in the tiny little moments throughout your day that builds an extraordinary life of connection with yourself and, of course, with others. Henry shares, How to love and feel safe giving love with flexible boundaries. Yes, I think that's when the brain and heart has the best relationship. Beautiful. Thank you, Henry. I really appreciate that comment. Yeah. How to love and feel safe giving love. So this week, Valentine's Day week, let's see how we can practice giving and receiving love now that you have this in your mind and your vision. And of course, you can go back to the video and review it on YouTube. Take a moment to really see how these intertwinings occur and look at the life force of Gil's presentation. I encourage you to really tap into your life force. Don't be afraid to really show up as you truly are. And whatever you want to do, don't wait in life. Go for it. Take action. Jump into it. Because if you do that, you will continuously entertain the relationship of your heart-mind connection. Does that make sense? I hope so. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Okay, so as of March 6th, 2023, in a few weeks, I am going to start broadcasting these Monday Lives from YouTube. So please know that. I'm going to put in my newsletter as well, but as of March 6th, I'll be broadcasting from YouTube directly. I will no longer be broadcasting from Facebook. So you can go on YouTube and invite your friends if they would like to watch live classes, ask questions. If you have specific requests as to what you would like me to talk about in relationship to mind-body alignment, please send me an email. You can write it in the comments here. Yoo-hoo! Yay, exciting. Happy to hear it. Me too. Thank you. Sounds good. Yoo-hoo. Congrats. Thank you. Yeah, my amazing team is really helping me to expand in a way that feels natural, organic, slowly. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. There's been some increase in viewers, so that feels really good. And also, if there's something specific that you'd like for me to share with you, please don't hesitate. Share with me. You can email me. You can find me, right? If you're not on my newsletter, go to artofalignmentacademy.com. Sign up for my newsletter so that you can receive it every week. You'll know what's coming. I share different types of resources on there. And don't hesitate to reach out to me. I offer 30-minute complimentary consultations. I still do that. So you can sign up for that via my newsletter, also on my website. So there's lots of free resources, possibilities, availabilities. You might be going through something. Please don't go through anything alone. If you want, you can join us on the Duchenne Method Facebook group page to write your daily gratitudes. We are also doing that. And it's really helpful, isn't it? A lot of you here are doing that with me on the Facebook group page. So thank you for joining me. I love you. I am grateful for your presence. May you be filled with love. May you go in life. May you go forth with love. Don't be small. Be who you are. Move into the quality of the miracle of your body, of your life, of your mind, of your heart-mind connection. Much love to all of you. I will see you next week. Thank you for being here with me. Bye, everyone.